Today I want to tell you guys 3 things that were the most impactful pieces of advice that I ever got when it came to having severe acne. As you know, I had extremely severe acne and I always felt like I was super alone. It definitely made me feel like I was in a dark place. I felt like I wasn't, I don't know, accepted by everybody. I just didn't feel like I had a lot of a community behind me. And these 3 pieces of advice I think are going to help you a lot if that's something that you can relate with. And I know there are so many of you who do relate with that. So I want to just jump right into it. And I think the first thing is do what you can do, but then after you've done what you can do, stop obsessing over it. You know? And whether that be what you can do to actually get rid of your acne to clear up, if that we're talking about that, or if we're just talking about what you can do to feel better about yourself, what you can do to fit in, what you can do to have more friends, what you can do to, succeed. Do what you can do, and then after that, it's a waste of your time to spend mental energy obsessing over it, thinking over it, if you can't change it. You know what I mean? It just puts you in like a little bit of a trap, and the time and effort that you're wasting could be used on something that would make you happier, that would be more productive, that would just be a better use of your time and your mental energy. And this is a hard thing to put into play, but this is a big piece of advice that I thought was so helpful. And for me, it took a while to implement, but once I did, it definitely changed the way that I went about doing things. Now, number 2, this one I feel like maybe is my favorite piece of advice ever. It's focus on your passions, because it'll help you not to think about your acne or the way that your acne makes you feel, or the way bullies make you feel, or really anything that doesn't actually matter in the long run. So think about this, right? Your passion, maybe it's sports, right? Let's just go with sports. If your passion is to become the best sports player you can be, if your passion is to become a pro sports player, nobody cares that you have acne if you're the best basketball player ever, right? They're gonna want you on their team because you score points. They're not gonna care what you look like. That's not the way that they determine who's on the team, right? So think about that. If you let your acne make you not go to tryouts because you're afraid that the other kids in the tryouts are gonna make fun of you because of your acne, there you go. You just lost out on an opportunity that could have mattered for real because you let something that doesn't matter get in the way. And don't let me confuse you or what I'm saying. Don't confuse the words that I'm saying, because I'm not saying acne doesn't matter. Clearly, this whole channel is about acne. It's hugely about the support and the emotional aspect of acne. Absolutely, it does matter. But what my point is letting acne and the way that people treat you and the way that acne makes you feel change your life is not good for you in the long run. Of course, you're gonna feel those dark times. Of course, you're gonna feel depressed. Of course, acne is gonna take a huge toll on you. It's gonna feel really heavily, it's heavily gonna affect you. The way that I've always put it is your passions are what matter, and the way that people think about you, or the way people are talking about you, or the way people are bullying you is like surface level. I feel like it's almost like white noise. And if you let that white noise be like really loud and it really affects you and stuff, then you're gonna not do those passions, which are much deeper, and those deeper passions are what are actually gonna fulfill your life, right? So like if Tanya and all those people at the school that you're at or whatever like you, that's not gonna matter in 4 years. Those people aren't even gonna exist in your life. That's literally just white noise. Like I don't maybe 2 people that I've known in high school do I actually still interact with at this point in my life. But what I've done in the past that's built up to this point still matters. So I started YouTube when I was in high school, and YouTube is my career now. That's a huge thing, and that really matters to me. Same thing with bodybuilding. I've done it for 11 years. That really matters to me. But if I wouldn't have started YouTube, or I would have started bodybuilding, I wouldn't have been able to get to this level that I'm at, where I really enjoy what I'm doing, because I'm doing my passions for my career, and that to me is extremely important. Excuse me, because I'm in a house with a bunch of my friends, Airbnb, which literally is because I do YouTube, and that's an amazing thing for me. I get to do my job that's also with my friends and the people that I love. It's something that, again, wouldn't have happened if I let acne stop me from doing what I am passionate about. Now, the third thing is don't let other people define your worth. Now, that sounds really cliche and that sounds obvious, right? You're the only person who can tell you what you're worth. We've probably heard that all a million times, but it really is true. You're the only person who determines what happens next. So if you decide that you want to stay in your room and not do anything because it's just too tough, or you feel depressed, or you're letting other people get to you, that's your decision. You're the person who made that happen. And in 5 years from now, when you look back and you haven't done the thing that you wanted to do, you didn't follow your passions, you're the person who determined your worth there. That's because you let other people determine your worth first, and then you let it spiral into a bad place. If you didn't do that, and you instead said, I matter, even though I have acne, even though maybe some people have been mean to me, even though I have bullies, I matter, and what I want to do matters, and what I put out in effort-wise matters, and I'm legitimate, and I love myself. That's something that only you can do. So I think in another way that I could put this is, don't seek validation from other people, because I think that's what we all do, right? A lot of times, especially when you're starting out in something, you want other people to say, you're awesome, you're doing good, you're really good at sports, you're really good looking, oh wow, I like to follow you. That all feels good, right? Because other people are admiring you. That feels good, but that doesn't matter in the long run, right? I think what happens is, after you start validating yourself, after you start valuing yourself, other people follow suit. That's why certain people, it seems like everybody loves them, everybody values them, but they had to value themselves first. If they always were self-deprecating, if they always felt like they weren't worth anything, I can guarantee you that people would pick up on that subconsciously. They'd read their body language. They wouldn't be propping them up. They wouldn't be following them in the same way. They wouldn't be valuing them like they do. And that's the thing that's, I think, difficult in this world where we have social media and all this kind of stuff, is it feels like some people just automatically have it. They just have people following them like crazy. And again, it's just something that you have to do on your own. You have to determine your value, and no matter what people do, if people tell you that you are the ugliest person they've ever seen, or they would never date you, which is something that some girl said to me while I was in high school, you can't let that affect the way that you go forward with your life. You gotta say, that's nice, you're goofy, what your words are valueless to me, and it doesn't falter or change the way that I feel about my life. That's really hard to put into play, and I know that's a big self-esteem thing, and I know a lot of us who have or have had acne, our self-esteem is low, and that's something that we're working on. So I'm not saying that you have to be perfect about this. I'm not saying that you have to always think of yourself as the best thing ever. Of course, we have those days where we feel really down, where somebody does make us feel bad, and then for the rest of the day, it's hard for us to be like, yeah, I'm the best. Instead, you feel terrible. That's okay. Feel terrible. Take the day. Relish in the feeling. Absorb the feeling, but don't believe it. You know what I'm saying? Do you understand what I'm saying with that? Don't believe that you are worthless, but allow yourself to go through the emotions, because it is tough. But at the end of the day, when you start the next day, tell yourself, that didn't change anything. I'm still who I am. I'm still valuable. I still love myself, and I'm still gonna go forward as best as I can. And as you do that, like I'm saying, even if you have acne, I guarantee people will start to feel that confidence, start to feel the fact that you value yourself, and they will also value yourself. I feel so deeply about this kind of stuff because, to me, I've been through what you've been through, so I want you to be able to be inspired by what I'm saying. I want you to understand that I understand where you are, and I hope that because you know that I've been through it, what I'm saying to you is me talking to myself through this camera to you, which is basically me, and I'm just talking to myself and saying, I love you, you can do this, you can make it through whatever struggle that you're going through right now. And it is better in the long run when you follow these pieces of advice. It does get better. I know it personally. So you're struggling out there, I just want you to know I love you. I hope you do not feel alone, because you are part of Team Acne. You're beautiful, and again, you are not alone. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a big old thumbs up, share it with other people, and I'll see you guys in the next video.